Luis, interview, take one.
My name is Luis Angel Miranda. Well, growing up, my mom made me appreciate literature. So I was a big reader, a big writer. And my dad, I used to go with him in the weekends, and our ritual was always to go see a movie, then go and rent like 2 or 3 movies and then critique them. So I just learned to love writing, reading, and film. I remember the first time that I knew I wanted to be a filmmaker was we rented Silence of the Lambs and American Beauty. And yeah, Silence of the Lambs, it was weird watching something and getting an emotional reaction out of it, like feeling a certain kind of way. And as a writer, I was always frustrated at the fact that I couldn't get that from people that were reading my pieces. Because, I mean, it depends on who's reading it, but watching it, you can actually see how people are reacting, if they're afraid, if they're sad, if they're, yeah. The art of putting images together so in a way that you get an emotional response, which was always compelling to me. First and foremost, Alfred Hitchcock, because he was a master at it. Well, apparently back in the day, the studios used to edit the films, and he was so good that he would only shoot shots that he wanted. So that way, when the studios edited them, they had to edit them in the way that he wanted them to be shown. And Stanley Kubrick, for the same reason. He was just a master at knowing exactly what he wanted, as opposed to spending all day getting all the shots and, yeah. I am a control freak. I can't be in a position where the outcome of a project isn't in my hands. I'll rather take the responsibility, and if it comes out terrible and it's my fault, it comes out good, it's my fault. As a film director, I want to be a film director. That way, if I can get the right people working with me that can do the other jobs well, I can worry about the outcome itself. Well, growing up in New York City, you learn very quickly how ugly people can get, and sometimes people that are not in those situations kind of forget or unknowingly are very naive to the uglies of the world. So I guess, yeah, I kind of like to remind people how nasty things can get, and also how beautiful things can be. Well, I tended to do exercises, and the first ones were kind of rough. But the first film that I knew that had something going was the one that I did for my professor, Michael Pierce, to just prove a point that it doesn't matter what equipment you have, or camera, or anything like that. If you have a working camera and you have people willing to work as actors, you can make a compelling short film that makes people feel some kind of way about it. And it was called The Voice, where it was a young boy hearing voices, whether it be, a different personality, or it was devil or demon or whatever it was, but he was hearing voices, and like the Amityville horror storyline, he goes and murders his family, but then when it comes time to murder his baby sister, he refuses and instead kills himself. He prevails over the force that drove him to do everything else. And then most recently, Scorn the She, which is an idea that my dad gave me, because he watches a lot of the, Snapped and all those other kind of stories where women are killing their husbands for whatever reason. And he was like, what if a guy kills his wife, and then when he's cleaning up, she comes back as a zombie and kills him? And I just went along with it. And so he was really happy about that. He was proud. I've never stayed in one place very long, and I'm really almost antisocial, whereas I kind of push everybody away. But having to see the same people every day, you kind of learn how to love the people around you and learn how to respect them and for their craft and what they can input into your work, and vice versa, how they can take you into consideration and respect you for what you can do. Yeah. If the world doesn't end next year, I hope to be a good father, a good husband, and I want to be in a position where my career can sustain my lifestyle and pay for my son's upbringing. And eventually, my ultimate goal is to be the first Puerto Rican to win an Oscar for Best Director, which I don't know how far-fetched that is. I don't think it's close enough for me to throw at it, but I'm still going to try anyway. My ultimate goal is to never die, and that might sound kind of weird to people, but I'm going to pass. Everyone lives and dies, and I'm going to pass, and that's obvious. But my name, I hope that at some point or another, I accomplish something. I'm the first, I'm the best, something. So that way, years from now, generations from now, people can say my name and say, yeah, he was great because of this. And, you know, like Hitchcock. I mean, he died how many years ago? I mean, and still to this day, and filmmakers from years from now are still going to look back and say Hitchcock was the best because of this, or, yeah, to never be forgotten.
Congratulations. You cut.
That was awesome.
I need to say that.
Oh, great.
That look all right?
Yeah, look good.